Hey guys, this is Lavitz, and today I'm going to show you the Pekka Witch Strategy, which is one of my favorites at Town Hall 10. We've got a good one lined up for you. The Pekka Witch Strategy is a very versatile attack that can work on a big variety of different bases. Here's some of the good things about this strategy. It's very simple. It's a great starter attack for a new Town Hall 10 who hasn't unlocked their bowlers yet. And it's a pretty reliable 2-star that has a pretty good chance of 3-starring if you do it right. Some of the other good things is it can be used on single or multi-inferno bases if it meets the criteria. And I'll tell you what the criteria is in a few seconds. And there's some more good things about it is it can be used from Town Hall 9 all the way through Town Hall 11. But once you get higher up, once you get to Town Hall 11, and it could even be used at Town Hall 12, but you got to be very specific about what base that you pick. And so what kind of base are you looking for when you're using this attack? You're looking for ring bases. You're looking for anti-2-star bases, or in other words, where the Town Hall is in the middle. The one, if you've got the Town Hall on the opposite side of the base, this will work too. You just have to make sure that you can get the wall wrecker all the way there. Basically, the biggest thing is you have to get your wall wrecker to the Town Hall, or at least pretty close to the Town Hall. Now, what's another base that this works really good on? If you see both the Infernos in one compartment, then you know that that's going to be a good base for this type of strategy. If you see two Infernos, what you normally would want to do is you're going to line up your wrecker with one of those Infernos to where you can at least get access to one of those compartments and be able to jump into the other one with your jump spell. What's another thing you're looking for? You're looking for, if it's a box base, if it's square, then this works really good for it. And if it's a single Inferno base, then you'll just crush it almost every single time without even trying. And it works on multi-Infernos too. The difference is you have to know where to place your free spells. And in the comp that we're going to put up there for you in a little bit is a pretty universal comp. The biggest thing that's going to change in it is where you're going to place your free spells. So whenever you use this attack, one thing you want to make sure that you do is, I normally love to place one early rage right before I engage the enemy CC, and use the last rage and the heal on the bowlers whenever they pop out of the wall wrecker. And so in order for that to work, you have to make sure you protect the wall wrecker and let it get as far as it can inside of a base. And when you protect it with the freeze spells, and so if you see it comes under attack from a single Inferno, then you need to freeze that single Inferno. If all of a sudden the Queen turns around and she starts targeting your wall wrecker, you need to protect it and freeze that Queen. Now when you're doing that, you want to make sure you at least try to get double value out of that freeze. You want to get the Queen and a defense, and try not to just get one thing. Use your jump to get you out the back end of the base. That's why it comes with one jump spell. Make sure you use the freeze. And also during this, you need to save 2 wizards, or at least 1 wizard and an archer to help you clean up. Because about halfway through the attack, you're going to save those guys, and it always helps to have that 1 wizard, at least 1 wizard and 1 archer there to help you clean up the area. There'll be one side that hasn't been cleaned, or sometimes you might have your entire group die out, but you've got a big old group of witches, and then you can just kind of place that wizard in there with them and help support it. And so what normally on this is you want to make sure when you're starting out that you put 1 Pekka on each of the corners, and then you kind of will then put a row of witches, and then sprinkle in about 3 or 4 wizards behind that. Place down your wall wrecker, and then place down your heroes, and then it kind of goes from there. And so we'll get this shown, and I'll show you some videos in a little bit where I'll go into a little bit more and kind of look at some live attacks and on how this works. And so let me tell you some of the bad things about this strategy, because there are a few things that are really bad about it. One of the bad things is it is a very simple strategy, and it does have a lot going on at the very first. And another thing about it is it can struggle on some bases if you come from an angle. If you come from one of the corners of a base and you don't time that wall wrecker right, and don't open up that middle, then your entire group could walk all the way around. But if you get enough practice in, that won't be a problem. And so if the wall wrecker doesn't get to another big problem with this attack is if the wall wrecker doesn't get to the town hall, or at least far enough where you can at least jump into it, you may fail. Another bad thing about this attack is that witches are squishy. And sometimes if those Pekkas don't trigger those giant bombs for you, then you're going to have a problem. And if you run into a giant bomb or a double giant bomb, you could lose all of your witches, and you're just going to be in big trouble. And another thing that's kind of bad is multi-infernos. If you don't freeze them, they will crush your they'll crush your base, and you'll be completely, they'll crush your attack, and you won't be able to do anything. So make sure you save those freezes for those multi-infernos if you're going to do it. Now, the best troop comp that I've found for this is 3 Pekka, 12 Witch, 5 Wizards, 1 Archer, 2 Rage, 1 Heal, 1 Jump, and 3 free spells. And in your clan castle, you're going to want that upgraded as soon as you can, so you can get 5 bowlers, 1 giant, and a free spell in that. And that will get you as far as you need to with this attack strategy. So now that that's all done, I'm going to break down some attacks and kind of show you guys how to do this yourself. Okay, this base right here fits all the criteria of what we're looking for. It works great on these ring bases. This Pekka Witch attack does. And so, what are we looking for with this? Well, what makes this perfect? 1, it's got single infernos right here. And so that's going to be easy for us to swarm it with the witches. 2, it's in 1 compartment right here. So once we get the bowlers in there, we can rage and heal them, and they can take both of those things out. And so that's what makes it really good. And so what I'm going to hit play, as you can see, this only took 1 minute and 26 seconds. If it's on the right base, in this particular case, it is the right one. It's a ring base. It's got the single infernos, and it's got everything in 1 compartment, or if it can be jumped into to get to the other inferno. But you have to always go from, you don't always have to, but it's normally a good idea to just come from one side of the inferno instead of coming from this direction right here. Then all of a sudden you've got 2 infernos firing at you, but this way you're only going to be taking, if you come from this side that Mel does here, you'll be taking them on just 1 at a time, and it's so much easier. So we're going to hit play, and as you can see, what he does is he starts off, and he starts with 1 Pekka on each end, and the point is that these guys are going to help create the funnel for him. Okay, then he puts a row of witches behind, and then he puts down the wrecker, and then the heroes, and then they all go in. He does an early rage as soon as the CC meets, so that it can go in, and he's already pre-healed. He does a freeze to protect the wrecker. He does the rage to take out, and as soon as that happens, the bowlers come in, and he decided to throw that other freeze in, which doesn't hurt anything, because this base is already in deep trouble. So those bowlers are coming through. You can see the witches are flanking on this side. We've got 1, 2, 3. We got a bunch. And then on the top part, we've got 1, 2, 3. There's 3 up here and a wizard. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 down here. So, that's quite a bit left over. And this was just completely destroyed. Really good job by Mel base identification and finding that out. They skipped this one little thing. They even had a freeze spell to swag. So that's a good example of what we're looking for and why that works. Okay, here's another base that fits the criteria of things. You can see once again we have an open ring base, and then right here in the middle we see multi-infernos. But the good news is we have these 3 free spells to stop these multi-infernos, and plus both multi-infernos are within the same compartment, or they are within a jump to get in and out of those 2 compartments. So, and in this particular attack, Coot has something bad happen to him, and his queen walks around the outside. Sometimes that happens, but most of the time you can get your timing down that this won't happen. What actually threw it off was this little space right here that somebody added, and he came right through that space, and it ended up throwing off the heroes and made them walk around this outside edge. But let's see. Does the same thing as the start. Start a Pekka on each end, one down the middle, and a row of witches. Super easy to do. And then throw down a few of your wizards. And then once it starts to happen, once again, here comes the heroes. These are, once again, you got to look at this. He's running level 30. He's number 9 in our CWL. And he made sure that this was the first attack that he had max troops on, was this Pekka and the Witch. And so this is not a max, this is definitely not a max base, and this is definitely, he's not a max. Well, he's a brand new, sort of kind of brand new Town Hall 10 for us. But, okay, as you can see, he starts the early rage for the CC to help it. And so now things went really bad. His queen just walked around the outside. And so now all he has is these wizards and these witches to take care of the balloons. Now, this freeze placement right here is beautiful. You notice that he was able to get the balloons and a multi-inferno with it. When you place your freeze, you want to try to get as much value as possible. And in this dragon here is coming off to the side after this Pekka and the king. And so let's see what happens here in the adjustment. He freezes. So he freezes both multi-infernos. His bowlers have just come out, and now he's fixing to place his rage and his heal. Rage, heal to keep them up. Another freeze. He could have got better value on the freeze, but I'm pretty sure that he was just panicking at that point. Got all that down with the witches. And boom, now that's gutted. These guys are walking around this side. This group up here ends up dying off, but that's okay. You'll see how this pans out, because once you get those multi-infernos, this thing is kind of toast. And you can just see it swarming. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. This group down here is doing good. And now all of a sudden, everybody's going to come around pretty soon. Well, except this one witch. And so this is the power of this attack right here. It looks like it's pretty done, but now we've got 2 witches here, a wizard. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There could be one more. Oh, there's one more hiding. 7. There's 7, maybe 8 witches left. And they've just got this sliver along right here to take care of. And so this is, and we've still got the queen abilities saved for the very end, which is kind of pretty important to do when you're doing this. Okay, and so as you can see, it's all just going to wrap around. I'm just going to speed this up a little bit to 2 times because this base is done for. I mean, all these skeletons are just going to spam all over the place, and it's just good, game over. And so as you can see, that's how powerful this can be. Yeah, this one was going against multis, but in that particular case, we used the free spells on the multi-infernos to keep it up. Keep the attack going, and didn't lose very many troops in that. So that's a good example there. So hopefully you guys learned something. after looking at that Pekka Witch Strategy. There's one more little shameless plug I want to put in real quick. We had just started a new clan called the Gen 1 Dragoons. That's going to be a part of our circle of clans. We've got Gen 1 Dragoons, which is recruiting Town Hall 9 and below players. Dragoons 2, which is recruiting Town Hall 9 to 11. And then our main Dragoon clan is recruiting Town Hall 11 through 13s. And so if you are looking for a good war clan, then that's what we're doing. We're sort of casual and yet still kind of competitive at the same time. And we've got different areas. And so I'm going to try to cover some things in Gen 1 also as we look at the lower level strategies from Town Hall 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, as well as some others on the higher level stuff too. But I just wanted to just put that out there in case anyone was looking for kind of a lower level, because we've just started this up, and we've got a really good core right now, and so we're starting our first war with the 5v5, and so we should be ready to get things going pretty soon. But anyways, you guys have a good one. See you later.